that I went with was how do past people, events, and so on and so forth change what is like influence for today, like current events and such and so. So I picked the research question: how did African slaves fight back against slavery? So I thought I'd cover a topic that I know very well, which is capoeira. And capoeira is basically a Brazilian martial art that was disguised as a dance so that the African slaves could make sure that the European oppressors didn't know that they were practicing how to defend themselves. Because back then, in the 17th century, a lot of people couldn't do certain things such as, receive an education, rights to freedom, all that kind of stuff. So for people back in the 17th century, this was a way for them to, rise up against that sort of like European power that was like in place, and for them to sort of like gain better influence over their sort of freedom. So, move to the next slide. So this man is Zumbi. He worked with a group of people known as the Quilambos. Yes, the Quilambos. And basically, they were a resistance group / refugee camp that fought against these oppressors or, slave owners and all that such and so forth, so that he could sort of like end like slavery and all this empowerment for African slaves. So he was one of the last members of the Quilambos and basically started this art of capoeira and showed these people how to sort of defend themselves. So in disguising the art, they had to do a lot of different things. They had to figure out how they were going to disguise it as a dance, so they added instruments such as this one, which Dr. Lindsay will introduce later on. And also the style of how the moves would work. So it's not like a conventional art such as like karate or kung fu, because karate and kung fu is more like straightforward. It's more obvious to the intent that you're striking another person. With capoeira, it's more like breakdancing almost. So, the next slide. So later on, as this art developed, different art styles of the single art style of capoeira sort of like evolved. So this is Mestre Pestinha, and basically he created the style of Angola, which is a slower version of capoeira, which I'll demonstrate in a moment after I get through these different slides and introduce Dr. Lindsay. But basically, the Angola style was a lot smoother, slower, and didn't involve a lot of like acrobatic moves and such and so forth. It was more or less trying to enjoy the game and trying to have what's known as a conversation with the other person. Next slide. And this is Mestre Bimba. So Mestre Bimba, what he did was basically, he went on a different route with the style of capoeira. And what that was he added more like, ferocity to the art. So it's faster paced with more acrobatic moves, and it was more of an intent to try and attack the other person, but still like going for that, martial effect to the art. So yeah, that's Mestre Bimba. That's the end of the slides, but anyway. Basically, how capoeira sort of changed the whole entirety of history is that now it's become enrooted into the culture of Afro-Brazilians, and it shows the traditions and the sort of like rich culture of how it was for people back then in like the 17th century when slavery was still in place. And a lot of people think that these African slaves were just defenseless and had nothing whatsoever to fight against these people. Well, that's not true. They had capoeira and such other forces to sort of fight against this power, and capoeira was one of those ways. And today, it's still being practiced, and people are still, following this culture and still recognizing the fact of what happened back then and sort of just embodying that history. So that's one of the beautiful aspects and things that come from capoeira, is that not only is it just a martial art, you're also learning about the history of like the people who started it, what exactly happened, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. There are different aspects, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to introduce Dr. Lindsay. He teaches at the UIC, and he can explain more on that, yeah.
All right, how's everybody doing? Good. Good, excellent. I'm proud of you, doing a great job. Spreading the word of Capoeira. Capoeira is something that comes out of the enslavement of African people in Brazil. I am TJ's teacher. I teach Capoeira at a school at 1001 West Roosevelt Road. We're part of the United Capoeira Association. I'm also a professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I teach in the Honors College. And I teach classes that talk about race, and also teach classes that deal directly with the impact of African movements such as Capoeira. And so, before we get into this discussion, I need to know where you all are, where you're coming from, and how you understand what Capoeira is and what it represented to those enslaved Africans in Brazil. So if someone were to ask you, what is race? How would you respond to that? What is race? Go for it.
Something that humans made.
Something that humans made. Very good. What else? How else can you add to that discussion? Something that humans made. That's a very good start. Go ahead.
Something that defines you.
Something that defines you. Okay? Excellent. Excellent. Are you kind of reaching for your hands? No? No? I saw you kind of thinking about saying something. What we are.
I don't know, how we're made up.
How we're made up. Okay, go ahead.
Diversity.
You say what?
Diversity.
Diversity, okay? So when you think about race, here's something that you should take away, all right? I'm giving you your first introduction to your first class that you'll have when they discuss race when you get to college, right? When you think about race, it's very important that you understand it as a social and historical concept. It's not real, it's like what you said, it's something that has been made up, right? But here is the big thing. It's based around these perceived differences in human bodies. Right? So we perceive what it means to be X, Y, and Z. What it means to be black, white, Latino, Asian American. What that means is based around these perceived differences in human bodies. It's not real. It's not real. Okay? So when we talk about the history of Capoeira, what you need to understand is that it came out of this understanding of race. It came out of the idea that these African people were inferior. And so what they had to do to demonstrate that they were not inferior, that they had intellectual ability, was to put something like Capoeira together. That combines acrobatics, combines music, combines dance, but it's also self-defense. All of that is what Capoeira represents. And it's so much more. Okay? TJ made mention of Mestre Peixinha and Mestre Bimba. One of the most famous mestres or masters of Capoeira that you can hear about when you talk about Capoeira is Mestre Bimba. Why? Not because he created Capoeira, right? He didn't create Capoeira. But again, it came out of that history. And like TJ was saying, is that he brought a different approach to what Capoeira was. He opened the first academy in Bahia, Brazil, in Salvador in 1932. And he opened that academy with a different vision for what Capoeira could represent. It builds upon the rituals of Capoeira. It builds upon the experiences of African people. And what he did was he created this very martial art approach to the form. Okay? So when you talk about Capoeira, there's often a lot of tradition and rituals that come along with that. Mestre Bimba kept all of those rituals, but also wanted to show that Capoeira could be used in a very lethal sense. When you see Capoeira for the first time, you're like, they're not fighting, they dance, right? When I first saw Capoeira for the first time, I said, it's like breakdancing and fighting combined. What is that garbage, right? I didn't really know what it was, right? But then when I understood what the history was, and then I went to Brazil and I saw different components, I was like, oh, I like it, I dig it, I get it, I understand it. And that's purposely a part of the design of Capoeira. Now, Mestre Peixinha, he came 10 years later than Mestre Bimba. And what he did was, he didn't create Angola, but what he did was he created a space for Angola to get recognized. Now Angola and Haitian now, these are two different styles of Capoeira. It's all Capoeira. But with Angola, there's a lot more ritual involved in that process. Oftentimes the movements are very slow, nice and low to the ground, and at any time it can jump off, right? Okay? So what I want to do for the remainder of this time, TJ is going to show you a little bit of the great things he's learning as a student, as a part of United Capoeira Association. I'm going to play this instrument called the berimbau, okay? All of you are going to participate in this part of our mini lecture here, okay? Because a part of Capoeira, you have to learn how to sing. Now some of you are like, I ain't singing. I don't sing, right? Right? That is what I thought also when I was like, singing. that's whack, right? No, but singing was a message. There was a message through the songs that came with capoeira. And so the song that I'm singing you, that I'm teaching you to sing, it is called Oh Sim Sim Sim, Oh Now Now Now. What that means is oh yes yes yes, oh no no no. Okay, that's what it translates to literally. Okay, it's a song about valuing what you have today and not taking tomorrow for granted. That's all you're saying. Okay, there's some other parts, but no matter what I sing at any time in the game, all you have to sing in response is oh sim sim sim, oh now now now. Okay, it sounds a lot like Spanish, but the language that they speak in Brazil is Portuguese. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. All right, I'll sing first, and all you have to do is respond with those two lines. You ready?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Oh, sing, sing, sing. Oh, now, now, now.
Oh, sing, sing, sing. Oh, now, now, now.
Oh, sing, sing, sing. Oh, now, now, now. Your turn.
Oh, sing, sing, sing. Oh, now, now, now.
Mais hoje tem amanhã não. Mais hoje tem amanhã não.
Oh, sing, sing, sing.
Good.
Oh, now, now, now.
Oi, avisado de lampião. Oi, avisado de lampião.
Oh, sing, sing, sing. Oh, now, now, now.
Excellent, excellent, excellent job. Okay? Now, here's a challenge. Can you sing and clap at the same time? Let's try. Here we go.